everyone. I am so excited that you're here. This is a live broadcast, and I am delighted that you're here joining me today to talk about new product ideas, product development, whether you've been in business for a long time. I know there are a lot of people who are joining us today who are at the very beginning idea stage, as well as members of my mastermind group who've been with me for years. And no matter where you are in the process, I welcome your ideas. You're in the right place. I'm super excited to spend this next 90 minutes with you, giving you absolutely every bit of information I can to help take you to that next level, because sometimes we just have a question we need answered. And I remember when I launched my first product, it's amazing, it's like 12 years ago, I didn't have anybody to talk to. And I didn't have anybody to ask questions. And so I really did feel alone. And maybe some of you are feeling this way also. So I just wanted to open up the door and invite you in and answer any questions that you may have. And the way I would like to go about this is I'm using a new system, so bear with me if I'm having any issues. I'm using Webinar Jam Studio. I'm really excited about this software and our ability to communicate with each other. And so bear with me, though, if we have any ups and downs through the process. So this is how it's going to go. First of all, I would like to go ahead and just offer up some tips. It won't take very long. I'm going to offer you 10 tips. And really, my intention here is to get you thinking about other possible questions. You may be coming into this session with a specific question, which is great, and I'll answer as many as I can. And also, though, if I bring up these tips, you may have some other ideas that pop into your mind, and I want to make sure that I give you as much as I can. So with that said, we're going to do that. Then I'm going to open it up to question answer. Then I'm going to offer you something special for being in this webinar that I've never offered before. And then we'll open it up to question answer again, and I'm going to just stay on and go through as many of your questions. And so here we go. Before I do, I just want to go over and make sure. I'm going to switch screens. You're going to see me go away for a second, but I just want to check and make sure that everything's going okay. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Dawn. Super happy you're here. Please go ahead. Oh, that's it. I wanted to remember to tell you to go ahead and put your questions in as you think of them, because there is a delay. And so I want to make sure that you get your questions posted quickly so that I can go back and make sure that I cover them. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen with you. And then hopefully all will be well and you'll be able to see my screen right now. Okay, so, and I have my dear Heather with me, who's a member of the team, who will let me know if you're not able to see my screen, but I think it's all going well. So good, let's just dive right in. So let me, for those of you who don't know me, my background, just really quickly. I am an inventor, I'm an entrepreneur, I have written 6 books for entrepreneurs. My goal really is to offer practical tips and steps to help you make money with your business right now and to build a business that you love. And this topic for today is really covering product development and the whole process from beginning to end. So I love this graphic because this is the road to success. So this journey begins with your brilliant idea that may be keeping you awake at night because you're so excited about it. And then what needs to happen is for you to really study your market and understand if there are enough people out there who feel as excited about your product as you do, and if it makes sense to bring your product to market. And sometimes I think this is the hardest part because we're so excited, we just want to make it and sell it. And this is the first step. The market research is often the most important step, and one that entrepreneurs bypass, again, because of our own excitement in getting it out there. So this is the first step. Then discovering great materials and really pushing yourself to think about materials that you may not have otherwise considered. And then you want to protect your idea, and we're going to talk about that a little bit in a few minutes, whether that's through a patent or a trademark or copyright. Then we're going to talk about finding the money and making the goods, and then landing your first sales accounts, whether they're retail, and I'm going to talk about all different opportunities in just a moment as well. And then how do you tell everybody about your fabulous new product? And that is really about using social media and PR and traditional media to get the word out about your product. And of course, it all begins with taking action, which is why you're here. And I'm so glad, because you are already on your way. Okay, so tip number one, and then we'll get into Q&A. I'm going to take you through 10 tips. It's really important to think of and treat your product idea as a business from the start. Again, because right now you may be thinking, oh, what materials am I going to use, and how am I going to make this, in the fastest way? Should I do it in the United States? Should I go abroad? What am I going to do here? But really, what the process is thinking as a business person. Whether you've had any business experience in the past or not, it really doesn't matter. What I want you to do is approach your product with an open mind. Analyze it, understand the design and the production costs before you develop your product. You got to understand your market size. Is this like a little niche item, or is this really for the mass market? You've got to understand your pricing to make sure that there's enough margin left over for you so that you can make money with your idea. And also, what's the profit potential for you, and in terms of your growth? And also really understanding your competition. Who's already out there? What are they doing really well? And how is your product different enough from theirs that you could carve out a place in the marketplace? So you can really do all of these things before you bring your product to market. So it's really important to kind of have this mindset before you spend a bunch of money. So tip number 2 is to bring your product to life with a prototype. And your prototype does not need to be expensive. It can be handmade. You can get your glue gun out and just have fun with it. But really, for many of us, we have this great idea. It works perfectly in our mind, and then we go to make it and it doesn't work so well, because it just doesn't. When you put it into practice, there's always little kinks and bumps in the road. And also, you're going to want to do surveys and get feedback from people so that you can really create the very best product possible from the beginning. And so whether yours is a plastic item or a textile item, or as you see over here, some sort of cleanser, or that looks like pet shampoo, which you would use a formulator, you do want to have a prototype to help your product come to life and to work out any of the kinks and to get feedback from people. The key is to make it simple, because the more bells and whistles that you include with your product, the more expensive production will be. And you have to question, is this something that can be automated, that once it goes into production, it just goes down a conveyor belt, goes through a very simple process. And then I had a product called Good Bites crustless sandwich cutters. They were sandwich cutters made out of a solid plastic. Once it was made, it would just go down the conveyor belt and drop into a box. It was that simple. Whereas I had another product, which was my first product, the Teepee Saver, which really had a lot of manual labor, and that added to the cost. And I had no idea about this at the beginning, so it never occurred to me, when I need a human being to tie the knot on that elastic, it's going to increase my cost of production. So first, allow yourself to brainstorm, have a lot of fun brainstorming about all the possibilities, and then really bring it in and narrow it down into a few of the features and benefits that set you apart from the competition, but is really the most simple design that you could possibly have. So tip number 4, this is a big question: to patent or not to patent. I hear this a lot, and a lot of times people feel that this is their first step. This is not the first step. The market research is actually the first step, because you need to know, first of all, if you can produce this product in a way that is cost effective, and so that there's going to be enough money left over for you. And second of all, you want to make sure that there are people out there that want to purchase it, because one of the biggest mistakes that I often see is that people will go out and think, oh, I have to patent this right away. And then they patent it. But then a year later, they realize, after they've heard feedback from people, that the design really isn't right and they need to change it. And basically what happens is you invalidate your patent. So it's really important to do these other steps first in terms of making sure that you've got your product design really nailed down and it's very clear about how you're going to produce it before you spend a lot of money. I'm talking thousands of dollars on a patent. Tip number 5 is raise smart money. I am so excited about the possibilities today. There are more options for you than ever before with regards to money. And you know, I'm sure, about crowdfunding, and that is very low risk for you as a business. And there are micro loans, which I received, and those are from nonprofit organizations that are incredibly supportive. And it's not like working with a traditional bank. They'll often take you as a new business. And I received a loan for $25,000 early on in the process. And wow, that was the most important loan I received because it really helped me get off the ground. There are credit lines, and there are online loans. There's peer lending loans. I mean, it goes on and on. It's really exciting times for entrepreneurs. So you want to raise smart money, not just race after the quickest loan you can get at a high interest rate. There's no need for that anymore. There are so many other options available to you. Tip number 6 is creative sales channels. This gets me really excited too, because you may be thinking, oh, I want to get my product into Walmart. Okay, well, that's a great goal to have. But I want to open up the possibility that there may even be better channels for your product. It depends on what your product is, and not all products really make sense for the mass market. It may actually get lost in the mass market. So there are specialty stores. There, think about yoga stores, or like my daughter's lacrosse. There's lacrosse stores, that are dedicated just to lacrosse. So those are specialty stores. There's daily deal websites, which are the hot new thing. I have a lot of people that I'm working with who are selling successfully on daily deal websites. And we're talking about Zulily and Kids Deals. Those are Groupon, Amazon Local. I mean, the list goes on. Catalogs, there are thousands of catalogs available that you may not have ever considered before. There's e-stores, meaning that the online stores that can sell, that sometimes have a brick and mortar presence and sometimes don't. Home shopping networks like QVC or Shop HQ, and you could sell, maybe yours is a perfect promotional item. Or have you considered military bases? I mean, the list goes on, and this is what thrills me, is that there are so many possibilities. All of these different venues are always looking for new innovative products. So I just wanted to plant that seed for you. Okay, tip number 7, get on camera. So if you feel uncomfortable going on camera, there are a lot of different options for you, but the reality is that people view things on video. You're viewing this right now, and people click. There are over 1 billion people on YouTube. This is the way people are digesting information. If you have a product and you put it on camera and people can click and see how it works, your sales are going to just leap. And so then you can take those videos and push them out over YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever makes sense for your product and for your business. And it is just incredible how quickly we can get the word out about our products today. It's thrilling. Okay, and number 8, I just wanted to put a word of caution out there about opportunities. I know that sounds funny because you're thinking, well, wait, there's so many opportunities, but I'm talking specifically about things that are too good to be true. And what I mean by that is that oftentimes you'll hear late night TV saying, if you have an invention idea, contact us. And then what ends up happening is they say that they'll give you a marketability study, and then they tell you that you have the next $1 million idea, and all you need is to give them, and then I've heard everything over the last decade between $5,000 and $30,000. And then the inventor pays and they never hear of them again. So you can go to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, which is uspto.gov, and look and see, go into their search box and type complaints to see about the company that is that you're considering working with to help your product get out there, because oftentimes that there are complaints that are already posted on that government site. So just be aware of this. Okay, tip number 9 is to use technology to build an efficient business. It's really important to create a strong foundation from the beginning, and you will be so happy you did this. And there are great tools and resources available that simply didn't exist when I started out, and you may already be aware of them, but for like bookkeeping, you can do Xero, which is a great new one, FreshBooks, Yendo, QuickBooks Online. There are Zoho. Again, there's so many different resources that are available to you this way. And I just suggest that you really think through this from the beginning, because when I started out, I was typing up invoices on Word, and I had to, after a year and everything went wild with my business, I had to hire a bookkeeper to go backwards and recreate the year. That was my first time over a decade ago trying to figure out how to launch my business, and that cost a lot of extra stress and money. And if you can set it up your books and everything from the beginning, you're going to be ready to just go and sell wildly. Okay, tip number 10, celebrate your successes, large and small. I say this because this is quite a journey that you're embarking on. It can be a lot of fun. There can be a lot of ups and downs. So it's important to really take note and recognize all the little steps of progress that you actually are making. And you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish moving forward. And it's really exciting to look back and say, oh my gosh, I remember when I just started with the idea. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And I am going to switch now, hopefully, if I can figure out how to get back onto my screen sharing and find my mouse. Aha. Okay, great. And we are going to open it up to question answer. Okay. So I hope those tips were helpful in helping you think up some good questions. And okay, so let's start. Great. Already asking questions. Fantastic. And so Wendy, hey Wendy. Okay. What do you suggest for new product ideas, but you don't want to start your business? Okay, if I'm understanding your question correctly, Wendy, you're talking about licensing. And licensing is a way for you to sell your ideas to other manufacturers. So you may have a brilliant idea and you're not at all interested in starting a business. Well, yes, you can sell your idea to other manufacturers. Well, how do you do that? Well, one of the things you can do is you're going to study the market and you're going to find potential licensing partners. And the way you do that is you would find out companies that are already making similar type items where yours would be a perfect logical fit to their product line. Think about it this way. When you're building a product business, you want to create a product line, which means that things are compatible, because it helps with selling. So because you're dealing with, if you're selling shoes, you want to just deal with a shoe buyer. You don't want to sell shoes and ice cream because you're going to be dealing with totally different buyers. So you'd select a company that makes perfect sense for your product, and then you can approach them. However, if you're going to be doing that, you need to have some protection. And one of the ways you can do this is you can do a provisional patent application. This is one of my most favorite tools. Keep in mind, I am not an attorney, so if you need to discuss patents and trademarks with, I'm suggesting that you speak to a professional about this, but I can speak from my own experience. And my own experience is this. A provisional patent application allows you to file, it's not a patent, but it's basically a placeholder. And that placeholder will allow you 12 months to and you can put patent pending on your product idea, and that will give you some semblance of protection over that period of time. And after that 12 months, then you can decide whether or not to go ahead and create and to apply for a patent. But when you're speaking to other people about your product idea, you at least want to have a provisional patent application in place so that they know that they don't know what the patent coverage is, but with patent pending, they know that there is some protection, even though it's really just a placeholder. So I hope I answered your question. Okay. And yes, May, there will be a replay. So since you registered, there will be a replay of this session afterwards. No worries. Okay, and Deborah, hey Deborah, would Zulily be a viable way to test a product? Yes, Zulily is really exciting, actually. And Zulily is, if you haven't been there before, it's zulily.com. And what it is, it's a daily deal website. But before you approach a daily deal website, make sure that they're already selling similar items to your items. And make sure it's a fit for that venue. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and their time. And if yours is like a perfect fit, you're thinking, oh, they're selling to my target audience, they're selling to moms or women, or even think about QVC, right? The Home Shopping Network. They're not really selling kid products. It's mostly focused on the woman and how to make her life better. So they're selling jewelry and hair products and clothing. And so think about the venue when you're approaching someone for sales, because it really will make a difference in your success, and you're gonna be able to have success selling. And yes, Zulily is a great way to test your product because they don't require you to have thousands of units on hand like QVC. When I was on QVC, I was required to have thousands of units on hand in their warehouse with special QVC packaging, and that was very stressful, actually, because that was a huge investment ahead of time, not really knowing what the outcome or results would be. With Zulily, you can have just a handful, a very small number of products that you test out and see if they will sell. And if they sell beautifully, then you know you're going to be invited back to have another sale because it went well. Okay, great question. Okay. So Douglas, welcome. Okay, I have it. His question is, I have invented an LED device for skin rejuvenation and anti-aging skin creams. How do I get the word out? So video for sure. What I would suggest, and you may already have this, but you want to definitely have a great video. Kind of, if you're doing anti-aging, doing a before and after makes perfect sense because you want to see those dramatic results, right? You want to see what the person looks like ahead of time, and then what amazing thing your product does for people, and how incredible they look. So you would have a great video that just was a wow. And then you would take that link, you'd upload it to YouTube or Vimeo, and then you'd take that link and you would post it everywhere on social media, driving people back to your sales page. And frankly, one of the most powerful things you could do is have video testimonials with people who have used your product who are raving about it. Having them on video talking about the results will get you more sales than anything, because they're speaking for you. They're speaking from their personal experience, and people love hearing about other people's experiences. So then you can take all of those testimonials and either have them on your sales page, so when people come back, they see that, or you could post those testimonials with a link driving back to your sales page. So I hope that helps. But that's how, and also you could create a contest. I know I could go on forever about this, but you can make it really fun, and you could create a contest. And so you've got your video testimonials, and you create a contest that, let's say it's a 2-week contest, and then people, someone will win your whole supply or something special if they sign up and opt into your site. So, okay, so let me scroll down. Okay, and let me go down to the bottom here. Yeah, just give me a second. All right. Just want to make sure I'm getting all of you. I'm loving your questions. Okay, so Karen, what is the most cost-effective way to start finding a manufacturer of product? Is it finding and manufacturing a product? I'm not sure. I want to go overseas. Are there people I can hire to manage this process? And about how much would they charge? Okay, Karen, you can do this. You really can do this. Okay, so one of the most cost-effective ways and ways that you can find a manufacturer is, well, first of all, in the United States, you can go to thomasnet.com, and you can find, that's like a directory, and you type in what kind of materials you want to use, and it will bring up people, or you could type in your state where you want to manufacture and see what comes up. So you can search that way. Okay, overseas, one of the best ways that I have seen overseas is that you go to Alibaba.com, and ALIBABA.com, and you search your product. You'll be amazed if you've not been there before. There will be probably so many products that are like your product, you're going to be blown away. You find one that is most similar because they're a factory that's already making a similar item. And then you can contact them directly and say that you have an item that's similar, that you would like to know how much it would cost to produce the item there overseas. And you can, when you're on Alibaba, you can also see that they are rated. So they'll see they've been in service for 3 years or more, and that they have a good rating. Make sure to notice those ratings, because if they don't have a good rating, you want to move on, but you're going to have lots of choices. Plus, you're going to see what I'm going to offer in a little bit, and I think that will be helpful as well. And because I'm going to offer you something special during the session. Okay, let me see here. Loving your questions. Keep them coming. And I'm having a hard time scrolling down here. Let me see here. Who's this? You know what? There is a question answer. You're writing it into the chat. I wonder if you can write it in the question answer area. I'm not sure if you're seeing that. I'm hoping that you do. Let me see. Okay, Barbara, any tips for finding a reputable, competent patent attorney? And can I use the USPTO site you mentioned about complaints to weed out the bad ones? Yes, you can. You can actually find a patent attorney through the USPTO site by searching by state, and they have had to go through a lot to be listed at USPTO. And so also, I know this may sound like a funny way to find an attorney, but if you Google and you go on to, oh gosh, what's the review site? That is, I'm blanking right now. Yelp. Okay. If you go onto Yelp, I have actually found an attorney on Yelp. And the reason why I like Yelp is because there are all public reviews. And so you get to hear about how it is to work with that person. So, and so just wanted to let you know. Okay, Dawn has Nan, you were first with a question. Oh, yay, I love it. You found the Q&A button and you're jumping into the question answer. That really helps. Okay, so Nan says, my idea is a larger piece of baby gear, nothing like it on the market. I'd prefer to license it through Graco or another baby gear company. How do you approach and protect my idea without getting into manufacturing? Okay, again, you have to be really careful, and in this case, especially if you're going and addressing or contacting a well-known company like a Graco, you've got to make sure you've got some protection, because they may just say, great, love your idea, thank you so much, and that's that. So you want to make sure that you've got some protection before you go and share your ideas with any of these large companies. But then once you do, each one of these companies usually have their own process for inventors. And if you go onto their websites, they'll have oftentimes even have a button that says inventors, or if you scroll to the very bottom, and you can see their information there. And if they don't have the tab for inventors, you can contact their corporate office, and you can call them and just ask them who handles licensing for Graco. And that's a way that you can go through. Also, you can get their corporate details by going to zoominfo.com. zoominfo.com, and at the very top, you don't have to sign up, you don't have to fill out all the information, but the very top, it'll say Find Companies, and you click on that tab on the top navigation bar, Find Companies, and you can type in the company name and get all of their corporate contact information with their telephone number. Okay, let me see. Dawn, we have test marketed our product for 2 holiday seasons with success. Yay! And when doing additional research on the market potential for investors, what do you think of purchasing market company reports? You know, it really depends on your business. I have had people tell me that they have purchased marketing reports and have found them to be of value. Others have said, wow, what a waste of money, because there's so much available online. So I really can't advise you in this way. You're going to have to really decide what's best for you. But you can, by going to one of the most amazing, exciting things that you can do to find this type of market potential for free, is to go to a public company that sells products similar to yours. And then what you do is you go to their investor tab. It has to be a public company, because the company that you are researching has to report to their investors. It's called a 10K report. It's an annual report. They have to talk about the marketing trends, about whatever industry that they sell in. So if it's a pet product company, for example, there's a company called Central. I love this one because they're marketing, they make their annual report so easy to find. They sell pet goods and they sell gardening goods, and a multi-million-dollar company. And if you go to their annual report, under their investor tab, annual report, and you click on it, you open it up and you look at their table of contents, and you'll see marketing. They have hired experts to come in and talk about the marketing that's specific to their industry, and then what the future trends are. So you can get your hands on the juiciest details and information for free by doing that. So I hope that helps. Okay, let me see. Do you need a provisional patent before trying Zulily? Well, if you're ready to sell on Zulily, it's just like, it's an online retailer like anyone else. So look, there are hundreds. Again, you're going to have to talk to a lawyer to see what makes sense for your product. But I will say that if you go into Target or Walmart, there are thousands of products on the store shelves that are not patented. Because what ends up happening, and it's happened to me again and again, is that your patented products can be designed around. I've had my patents that are very solid utility patents designed around by big companies. So what I've learned is it's just better to be aggressive about getting your product out there, selling it, and then adding more things to your product line. So again, if this is your first time to market, doing a provisional patent application is a really inexpensive way. And we're talking about, low hundreds if you have a lawyer do it for you, as opposed to thousands of dollars. And that is a way that you can get patent pending on your product before you start reaching out to the marketplace to test things out. Okay, I hope that it helps. Okay, Karen, are you familiar with Kid Show, a virtual trade show being put on by Inventors Network? I am not familiar with that, but I'll check it out. Okay, and let me see if I've got other. Oh, okay, Heather, click mark as a question above the text box to mark as a question. Okay, I'm not sure I know how to do that yet. Again, this is new, so give me one quick second to see if I can understand what that means. Maybe if I click here, it means I've answered your question. Gosh, I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay, so let me scroll down and see if I can answer more questions. They're coming in so fast that I am trying, hold on, to get my screen down. Thanks for bearing with me. Oopsie, sorry everybody for the delay. Oh, I see Randy. Hello, Randy. And let me see. Okay. Oh, Randy was just saying hi. Sorry. Hi, Randy. Okay, so excited to see so many of you here. Okay. Okay, keep your questions coming. Okay, Nita, I heard before starting an online business that it needs to be protected legally. Is this needed? If so, which company specializes in this sphere? I would need to know and understand more about your business, actually, to understand, what you're needing legally. I mean, if you are launching a product business, then you're going to want to, as we've been talking about, have some protection, whether it's trademarks. I find trademarks to be extremely valuable over patents. And if you are wanting to do your business, then the legal side of it is setting up your business properly. Like, does it make sense for it to be an S Corp, a C Corp, a limited liability company? So that's what you would want to speak to a lawyer about or an accountant about. And so I would really need to know more about your company, but that I'm hoping that helps. Okay, so Shantae, how do I find formulators to help develop a product? Well, formulators, you can search Google online. And I actually have a list. You're bringing me to my special offer, but I am including a list with some awesome formulators on it as part of the program I'm about to tell you about. But formulators, you can go into Google and just search formulators. And essentially, just for those of you who don't know what a formulator is, it's if you have something that needs to be used a chemist. So whether it's food, if you're putting together something that needs to be, manufactured, a food product or a pet product or a shampoo or a cleanser, anything like that, soap that has to be formulated, because you also have to consider shelf life. And if you're using organic ingredients, you have to make sure that you have a chemist that can help you to prevent spoilage. Also, one of the women who was featured in my last book, The Mom Inventor's Handbook, 2nd edition, hers was really interesting because she had a chicken soup that she wanted to send across the United States because she wanted to offer comfort. I love her company. It's called Spoonful of Comfort. But what she never realized was how difficult it was to ship chicken soup, but it's the chicken, that have all these different rules and issues about going over state lines. And so she had to hire an expert to help her manage just being able to ship the soup to people who are sick. So, so there are different things that you have to consider when you're working with a formulator. And so you can do that by going onto Google and just type in formulators, and you'll be amazed by what you find. And again, I'm going to offer that up in a little bit too. Okay. Jessica, hello everybody. I am deaf, and who should I see first about before I share my idea? It depends, Jessica, on what it is that you want to do. If you're wanting to sell your idea to another manufacturer, again, it ties back to what we're talking about, and that is that you want to make sure that you have some protection before you do that. And again, a provisional patent application is a great way to get 12 months of patent pending status. Okay, Linda, at what point would you trademark a name in regards to a provisional patent? Trademark, you can trademark your logo, so your company name. You can trademark your product name. I highly suggest, this is just a little side point, I highly suggest that you don't make your company name your product name, because your company name is really your overarching company. You're going to have, if you're going to start bringing products to market, you're going to get other ideas. You're going to add on to your products. People are going to love your product and then say, wow, you know, I'd love it if you made X, Y, and Z, which will inspire other ideas. So your products are going to change. They're going to come. They're going to go. And so it's important to create a business name. So you can trademark your business name, and you can also trademark the name of your products as well. And I would trademark my company name. If you are sure that that's what it's going to be, then I would trademark that name right away. You can do that, by the way, and you can go and see if it's available yourself by going to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, uspto.gov, and you're going to see a button there for trademark search. You click on that, and then you search the name of your trademark to make sure that it's still available, and it will let you know if it is indeed available. Okay. Julia, I have a startup business. How do I best prepare myself for approaching retailers, and how is the best to start? When is the best time to start approaching them? The best way to approach retailers is, first of all, to start out local. Go and see if you can get it into the small kind of mom and pop shops in your area and have success there. Once you start having success there, and by the way, not just there, but testing out at the same time, you can test it, let's say, on Daily Deal websites. I have several people that I'm working with who are selling thousands of units on Daily Deal websites. And then what happens is they're able to, in the subject heading of their email, say, I sold 3,000 units in 3 hours on this Daily Deal website. I would, and then you're in your email to the next big retailer. I would love to work with you. I'd love to see my product on your store shelves. So what my point is that large retailers do not like to take risks. They do not. So you have to have successes in other ways, and then you can bring those successes to the bigger retailers and say, hey, look, I am blowing through my units so fast, and I wanted to now reach out to you because I can see that, you know, we're having lots of success, and I'd like to bring my product into your store. Don't forget catalogs. Things also like drugstore.com. I mean, these stores, there's so many ways to sell online that is just, it is so exciting. And you can also find all sorts of catalogs through catalogs.com or monstercatalogs.com. Okay. Nan, if other companies can get around to a utility patent or provisional patent, then how do you protect your product? Yes. That is the question, Nan. So that's why I do provisional patent application, I trademark, and I get out there and I sell and sell and sell and try selling in all different ways and get people super excited about being a part of what I'm selling. And so it's really important that you go ahead and just be really aggressive in a good way in selling your product. Okay, so really quick, I am going to now just take a moment and switch over to what I'm offering you today, and then we'll go back to question answer to finish out this session. So let me see here. Oh, it's not there anymore. Okay, so let me see if I can get it there. Give me just a second. And I'm going to open this up. I'm going to bring this over. Okay. And then hopefully I'm going to not lose you all. Okay. Okay, yes, phew, this works. Okay, hopefully now you are going to see on your screen what I'm offering. And what I'm offering today is something I've never done before. This is my on-demand program. And this is the Ultimate Product Launch System. So all of these modules are in-depth modules. They are going to take you from the beginning, I'll start here, and they're all in video, I might add. So it's an on-demand system where once you purchase this system, you get immediate access into a private members area. You'll get access to all of these videos, and you'll get access to the Ultimate Product Launch Workbook that follows along with the videos so that you can keep your notes all organized and in one place, okay? So right here, you've got the module 1 is getting started with your market research, and I break it down, and it really actually can be fun to do market research. It's just that you need to understand how to do it. And then we're going to talk about prototyping and manufacturing. I've talked about safety because you need to make sure that your product is safe from the very beginning. Then we're going to talk about new creative ways to fund your business with crowdfunding, microloans, grants, vendor financing, angel investors. I get really excited about funding because it doesn't have to be difficult as it was in the past. Then we're going to, module 5 covers what's your brand story, and this is really important because you need to create your brand and what your brand is all about. And a lot of times we get so focused in on what our product is that we're not really thinking about what our story is, and that's how you end up getting media coverage, because media gets really interested in your story. And I tell you how you can create your story. In module 6, then we talk about all different ways to blow your horn and through public relations and marketing to get the word out about your product. And also creative sales and distribution. We touched on some of that today, but I go into great detail on how you can get just really come up with all different fun ways to sell your product. And then also in module 8, it's really talking about how to sell specifically on daily deal websites like Amazon Local, Groupon, Zulily, Kids Deals, and how to do home shopping networks like QVC. And then finally, a whole module on finding a licensing partner. So in addition to this, you get a free monthly live coffee with me. And the reason why my students love this, because let's say you're off doing your modules and you have questions. Well, you get me once a month, just like this. We jump into this webinar just like we do now, and you'll be able to ask me any questions that you have every month without fail, and you can know that you are not alone. And you can also connect with other entrepreneurs that are on the same journey. And you will get my hot resources list. This has up-to-date factories in the US as well as abroad that covers plastic items, metal, working with textiles, and yes, formulators. And so I will offer you this hot list also. So the big drum roll is that this is $497, but during this webinar, this is it. I've never done this before. $97 for all of this. You get the workbook, all the video modules, and the manufacturer's resource list. I'm super excited to offer this to you right now. And the way that you can get this, and you should see something pop on your screen. So let's hopefully see if I can get my mouse to work. That would be nice. Okay, bear with me for a second. Aha. Okay, so I will go here. And then I will jump into the admin room and I will click here for you. And here it is. So hopefully this is happening for you. And this offer will stay up for you for the remainder of this webinar only, and then it will go away. So grab it while you can, because I've never done this before. And I'm going to jump right back on to our Q&A, and we'll continue to answer your questions. So let me jump back over, and hopefully you can see that. And let's go. Okay, Douglas, you found that the USPTO site for finding attorneys is very outdated. Okay, good to know. Well, like I said, you can go on to Yelp. And why I like that is because there's an accountability that happens with Yelp. I found a fantastic patent attorney in my area going onto Yelp. You know, at first I was like, really? I'm finding an attorney on Yelp? But the thing I loved is hearing the reviews, because the reviews really speak volumes about about the experience people are having in real time. And so I found someone to work with that way because I saw he had so many great reviews. So with that said, that was one of the ways that I found somebody, and I think that you could too. Okay, and more questions. Okay, Dawn, could you speak more about daily deal websites? Our product is seasonal. Christmas, do you think daily? Yes, definitely yes. Daily deal websites are great for seasonal items too, because they are constantly looking for new items. I know this for sure because I'm in communication with several buyers over in daily deal websites, and I know that they are always looking for new items. And keep in mind, I mean, so are catalogs. I mean, I'd be jumping on any sort of catalogs. Think about what comes to your doorstep during the season. I mean, it's just amazing what the opportunities are for you when you have these niche items. And so definitely consider daily deal websites for selling your items. For sure. Okay. Okay, Nan, if other companies can get around a utility patent or provisional, then how do you protect your idea? I think I may have answered this one. Yes, I did. Okay, so trademarks for sure, and getting to market quickly. All right, I'm going to jump on here and see if there are any more ideas. Okay, Barbara, what additional steps do you suggest to protect your idea in the manufacturing process, whether overseas or here in the States, of being copied and mass produced without your permission? Look, this is always a concern, I know. And in terms of protecting your idea, first of all, let me just say this, that you would want to, that you would really want to make sure that you have an agreement in place with your factory that they will not sell your idea outside of your, that they have no rights to sell your idea, or I'm sorry, your product overseas. Okay, I have seen that happen one time before, where they produced the product for somebody else and then that person saw that they were selling their product on their website. I've only seen that once in a decade. Not to say that it doesn't go on, but if you have, if you're producing in the United States, you definitely can have an agreement signed by your factory, a non-disclosure agreement, and you can also make sure that it's written up in your terms, in your agreement, that they cannot produce or sell your product ever. So, definitely make sure that once you get into working with a factory that you get a contract in place, okay? So I hope that that answers your question. Okay, Lou, I have made a crude prototype and taken it to a mechanical design engineer. He has suggested 3 phases. Phase 1 being 2 to 3 concepts, quick design and sketches. Phase 2 uses info from phase 1 to gathering prototyping, and phase 3 price research cost to build a prototype. This will cost about $2,000. Is this a normal process? No worries, Lou. I'm glad you spelled it out. It's not too long of a question. Everyone that you work with works differently. That pricing sounds pretty normal to me. So it really depends on the complexity of your product. And also, I would make sure that you contact that person's references if you are just, you don't know that person and how it is to work with them. So I would ask for referrals or references, that you actually follow up and call and ask the person how they have, how their experience has been working with them. But that does make sense, because you're going to need to go through the phases of drawing up the concepts and testing things out. Also, make sure to ask if they use 3D printing. For those of you who are unfamiliar with 3D printing, it is so exciting, because you can take your CAD drawings, and by the way, CAD is computer-aided drawings. You will not need this if you have a textile item or a formulated item. You only need it for a plastics item. But if you have a plastic item, you can do have a 3D printer print out, actually create a 3D model of your product. And this is a great way to find flaws in your design before you spend money producing it and manufacturing it. You do not want to go to the factory which is the way I had to do it because there were no 3D printers. But you don't want to go and produce, hundreds or thousands of units only to find out that there's a flaw in the design, that you may have, you tried really hard to make sure that everything was perfect, but you just didn't see this tiny little flaw. So make sure, Lou, to ask your engineer if this cost includes 3D printing, or if not, if they have access to 3D printing. And frankly, if they don't, I would probably find one that does, because they should be using 3D printing. Okay, Karen, who or how do you approach different sales channels? Okay, how do you approach sales channels? Well, you create an email, and that's what I call the wow factor email that I teach in my program. And it's really essentially creating a sizzling subject heading, which can be that you've had sales success. That's what they want to see. They want to see that you've had sales success somewhere. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be a little thing, but you put sales success into your subject heading. Then what I always suggest is that you have a very short how-to video demonstrating how your product works. And that way that person can just click and watch and they get it, rather than a long explanation. And then you want to let them know that you have great margins. What does that mean? It means that there's an opportunity for your retailers to make about 50% margin is what they're going to want to be able to make with your product. And so you want to make sure that you mention that they can make a great margin, and that you like to follow up with a phone call. So, and let them know, by the way, that if you don't hear from them in a week, that you are going to follow up with them. So they know that you're not just going away, but you're actually going to follow up. So you can send that same email to all different venues, whether it's catalogs, e-tailers, retailers, daily deal websites. It's really crafting your, what I call a wow factor email that gets people excited when they see your subject heading, and then they click on the video and they want your product. Okay, let me see here. Great questions, everyone. Wow. Okay, your offer disappeared from my screen. Wow, really? Okay, hang on a second. Let me see if I can get it back. Okay, how funny. Because I still see it, so I'm not sure what's going on. So let me go back. I'm going to remove the offer. Don't panic. And then hopefully I can put the offer back, and maybe that'll put it right back on the screen. So load it and display offer. And we'll go here. It's only available for 30 more minutes, so grab it if you want this amazing offer. Okay, hopefully that solved the problem. I just basically took it off and put it back. I crossed my fingers and toes that worked for you, okay? If it did not, then you can follow up after this webinar if for some reason you're having a problem, and you can email me, or actually email Tamara, Tamara, at tamaramonosoff.com, and we will take care of you, Joseph, okay? And Lou, if a designer helps you develop your product too much, are they entitled to a royalty? Aha, great question. Make sure in your agreement that you make sure that is not the case. You do not want to give anyone a royalty as part of your development of your product, for sure, because that will lock you in with that person, and you do not want to even go there. So definitely make sure that to make sure that they do not have any rights to your product design or development. Okay, so there are designers who will say that, and there are designers that will give you 100% right. You want 100% rights to your design. Okay, Dawn says the offer is under the pop-in tab at the top of your right screen. Okay, thank you, Dawn. You're my techie on site. Yay! So Joseph, hopefully, John says it's up at the top. Okay, perfect. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Okay, Barbara, what do you suggest for tips? I love these questions. I'm having so much fun. I hope that you are too. Barbara, what do you suggest tips for getting through to gatekeepers when approaching decision makers at retail? Okay, I love this. Okay, some of the best ways to bypass your gatekeepers. one tip, I have a whole tips document on this. I have to see about getting that, but let me see if I can remember off the top of my head, because I know the ones that I use, but I know I had a lot more. Okay, one of the things that I do is I call after hours. So find the name of the person that you want to speak to. And if you can't find that person online, like through LinkedIn, use LinkedIn, everyone. If you're trying to find people, use LinkedIn. You find tons of buyers. If you type in Babies R Us buyers are going to pop up. If you put in Zulily buyers, I mean, you will be blown away. So use LinkedIn. You don't need to even sign up for the more premium version. You can do this for free. Find the person's name. Then you can go to the corporate office, and you can call after hours, and oftentimes they have that tree, where they say, if you know the person's last name, type it in now. Type that person's last name in, and there you have it. Direct access to their voicemail. Okay, and so that is one tip for getting past the gatekeeper. Another thing is that you can just call and just ask. You'd be surprised. I'm amazed at how often people will actually pass you through, but if they won't, especially with buyers, another little tip is to ask for, or click on, oftentimes they'll give you a press 1 for sales, press 2 for whatever. Press 1 for sales, because guess what? They will always have someone available for you if they think they're gonna sell something to you. Then you get a salesperson and you say, I'm sorry, I think I was transferred to you by mistake. Can you hook me up or transfer me to John Smith's line? And the salespeople just want to get you off the phone because they want to make sales. So you can go ahead and then be transferred that way. But before you do, you could say, oh, and just in case we get disconnected, can you give me John Smith's extension? Okay, so then you've now been perhaps transferred to John Smith by a salesperson, and you have their extension. Okay, those are 3 tips to help you get started. Okay, perfect. All right, let's move on and keep your questions coming in. And I'm looking at 2 different screens. So let me see if I jump over to this one, if there are any others here that I'm missing. Oh, okay, let me see if okay, okay. Dawn says, Tamara's patent attorney is amazing. I thoroughly enjoy working with him. Okay, Dawn, I don't know which one you're referring to, because I have 2. And one of them has gotten so much business that I don't think he's taking more business. So go ahead and put his name in there if you're having a great experience, and especially and the other people can get his name too, because I'm not sure which one you're referring to, but I'm more than happy for you to share. Okay. And then I can't see, I think it's Judith. May I suggest going to your local bar association to get names of competent attorneys? Yes, good suggestion. Definitely your local bar association. Also, I have found that when I needed a very specialized attorney for the bar association, I've gone through the bar association. For example, I needed one that dealt with TV, and you need to have this very specialized type of attorney that you maybe never even realized that you needed. Going through your local bar association is definitely a good idea. Okay, what is your opinion of crowdfunder, and do you think I can find a legitimate investor on the site? Crowdfunder, what is my opinion? I don't have an opinion. All I know is that every crowdfunding platform has a different personality, and you've got to make sure that your product is a fit for that platform. And something I'd be really cautious with crowdfunding, although I think it's absolutely fabulous, and I would use it myself if it had existed when I was raising money for my products. I would do that. But one of the things you want to make sure is that there's one that you can do donations. You can receive donations, or you can basically have people invest in your company. I would definitely do the one where people are giving donations, because then you're not dealing with investors and giving away shares to your company. Because I've had people tell me, oh my gosh, I've just felt, just so upset with themselves that they gave a big chunk of their company away because they needed $90,000, and they were so thrilled with the $90,000 that they said, yes, absolutely, you can have X% of my company. And then when they built up their company, they were dismayed that they had done that. The beauty of crowdfunding, and I've had people successfully have crowdfunding on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. The beauty of crowdfunding is that you can have donations, and then you feel like you have your tribe, your crowd who are supporting you. It also validates that there's a market for your product, because if nobody gives you money, then you get a sense, well, wow, maybe this isn't as fabulous of an idea as I thought. But if people are going wild and they're donating like crazy and supporting you, then you know that you basically validated your market. Also, if you successfully meet your crowdfunding goals, let's say you wanted to raise $50,000 and you meet that goal, that also leads to media opportunities. So there's so many pluses in doing crowdfunding. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, let me see here. I am jumping in and pulling down the screen. Okay, John Merchant, patent attorney. Yes, John Merchant is absolutely fabulous, patent attorney. And you'll have to ask him if he is still seeing people, because I know that I've sent him a lot of people. And so, but he is absolutely lovely. What I like about John is that he is not just a patent attorney, he's also a business law attorney. So the reason why I love this is because he's not just looking at whether or not your product can be patented, but he's really helping you think about it from a business perspective too, which is really unusual. So great person. If he is unavailable, then you can definitely ask him if he has someone that he can refer. And he is, you can Google him at John Merchant Law, and he is in the San Francisco Bay Area. And by the way, it really doesn't matter if you're working with a local attorney or not, because everything's online anyway. So your attorney can be anywhere. Okay, can you go over what is included in your offer? Absolutely. So when you log in and when you sign up for the offer, you get immediate access to all those video modules that take you from the very beginning of market research to prototyping to patenting. I mean, these are in-depth video modules. You're going to get so much knowledge and information about the process all the way through. You're going to talk about patenting and trademarks. Then you're going to then go into funding, and you will go into your PR and marketing and social media and sales and licensing. Okay, those are all the video modules that you'll have immediate access to. You're also going to get a digital downloadable workbook. That will, I love workbooks because they follow all of the video modules so that you can keep your notes organized. No sticky notes all over the place. Or like I do, I start a new pad and I'm, a new writing pad. And I thought, oh, okay, I just want to keep all of this data, because I give you tons of resources, and information and steps. So you want to have it all in one place, so that can go into your workbook. In addition to that, you will have coffee with me, which is going to be just like this every single month. I log in for 30 minutes live to answer your questions, because I want you to know that you're not alone. This is one of all of my past students are welcome, and one of their favorite features, because you're able to ask your questions, and I'm always there for you, just like I am today. And then finally, I am giving you my hot list of real resources. And what I mean by that is I have factories both in China and in the United States that entrepreneurs have generously shared with me that are currently using these factories. And also not just for plastic, but for textile. And I also have formulators. So that's everything. It's for $97, and that's incredible. If you go to my website, it's normally $497. So I've never done this. This is it for all of you who've joined me today. I love it. Yay, Joseph got his. Love it. Fantastic. And so great. Grab yours too. You are going to be so happy you did. Okay, more questions. We still have time. I'm so excited. Let's see. We have 20 more minutes, and I am going to stay on here, and I am more than happy to keep on going with you. Dawn, you're awesome. Dawn wrote, buy Tamara's one-page business plan. It's a brilliant and so approachable, easy to understand. Well, yay, thank you. I love that plan too. And that is in partnership with Jim Horan, who we worked together to create the one-page business plan. And he has the one-page business plan company. I use the system myself, and it is, wow, talk about a quick way to create a plan for yourself in such an organized manner. And what I love is that it's so hard to create a business plan from scratch, and we ask you questions throughout. I wasn't planning on talking about the one-page plan, but thanks, Dawn, for bringing it up. It's a way we ask prompting questions throughout, so you get a clear vision about what you're building. You're going to understand what your mission is. Your mission really is the heart of your business. It's what it's all about. And my mission is to inspire, inform, and boldly promote courageous entrepreneurs. Inspire, inform, and boldly promote courageous entrepreneurs. I am so clear about my mission, and something just happens for you when you can be clear about what your business is about. So that's what the one-page plan will do for you. And then we talk about how to break down everything down into objectives that you can measure, strategies, which explains how you're going to do something, and very specific action plans for getting the job done. So that was a quick overview for doing that, and for the one-page business plan. So Dawn, nice surprise. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, Nan, will you get a copy of the transcripts from this webinar? You will actually see a replay of this webinar. So I might be able to make the transcript available. I'll find out for you. How's that? But in the meantime, after this webinar, in about 2 hours, you will get this exact webinar over again, and you'll be able to get any information that you want to review all over again. Okay, what is the going rate for licensing royalty and vendors to the toy market? Good question. Specific to the toy market, you'll need to go to the Toy Association. I believe it's called TIA, TIA. .org, if I'm correct. If not, just go into the Toy Manufacturers Association. I'm almost sure it's TIA.org, and you can just get on there and ask. You can contact. What I always find in order to get answers like that is to contact their member person, because they're wanting you to join as a member. And if you're not a member already, and you could just say, hey, I'm considering membership and I have some questions. What's the going rate for licensing? In the other, other industries, it is around 1 to 5%, just to kind of give you a ballpark. So for like in the product industry where I was doing housewares items, children's items, the licensing rate was anywhere between 1 and 5%. You get the higher percentage based on what assets you bring to the table. So if you have a patent or a provisional patent application, so you've got patent pending status, and you have trademarks, or you have some really other important assets that you're bringing to the table, then you get a higher percentage. If you've just basically got a napkin sketch of an idea and you really haven't done any of the work around it, then it's going to be on the lower end. So I hope, Barbara, that gives you a little insight to that. Okay, Judith, do you recommend incorporating yourself as a business before seeking a licensing agreement? You know, it never hurts. This would be a really good question for your accountant. I am an S Corp, and it really depends on whether you plan to get investors down the road. If you want investors down the road, you may need to be a C corporation. Some people do it as a limited liability corporation, so it really depends on your business. This would be a question that you need to ask your accountant, okay? And they will give you good advice. And yes, I mean, I don't think you must have one when you're doing a licensing agreement, but why not protect yourself? The beauty of having a corporation is that you're protected by the corporation, and it's not, if anything doesn't, if anyone wanted to sue, or if there was something that went on, then you're not protected if it's just you all by yourself. So I just, I always think it's important to incorporate, but the kind of corporation, you're going to want to seek that type of advice from an accountant. Okay, I hope that helps. Okay, any other questions? We have 15 minutes left. And okay. Are we, okay, let me see. Okay, good. More questions coming in. Okay. Okay, gross margins. Dawn, what is your target gross margin on retail product? You definitely, retailers want 50%. And that's what, you want to make sure you're close to that as well. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sweeten this deal, because you just said that, because one of the most valuable tools that I offer, and it excites and thrills me when people use it and then get they use this tool, is my margin calculator. And I usually normally sell it for $20, but I'm going to just throw it in there. So you can, if you go ahead and pick this up, I'm going to just give it away for free as part of this. And what it allows you to do is you can play with the numbers, and you can see if, once you put in your production costs, you can see if you can, if there's enough margin left over for you, and you want to really push and try to get your retailers their 50% and you your 50% also. Okay. So, but that, it's not going to be perfect every time. In some deals, let's say they get, huge volumes, you may need to take a little bit less. If you put a distributor into the mix, then if you have a distributor in the mix, then the numbers all go down. The retailer understands that if a distributor is part of the equation, then that the retailer is going to earn less, and the distributor is going to expect around 30%. And so this is what the margin calculator does, is it helps you figure out when you put in giving the retailer 30% and what's left over then for the retailer. Does that mean you have to pull your numbers down? So this calculator really helps you out. And so I just hope that whether you get the calculator or not, Dawn, I hope that helps you just kind of get a ballpark. All right, Joseph, can you generally describe the terms of a, sorry, the questions are coming in so quickly, you scroll down. Okay, can you generally describe the terms of a micro loan, minimum maximums, type of collateral required? Okay, I get so excited about microloans. Oh my gosh. They are, okay, so they're nonprofit organizations. There are all different microloans that are available. And I mentioned some, by the way, in the program that you just purchased. So when you get to that section, you can watch that video first if you want to. And then, of course, what the terms are is they're all different, but what I've found is that their expectations are so fair and reasonable. So you talk to them and they'll say, okay, the minimum payback, I can't tell you because I don't know how much you're going to get. But let's say for my $25,000 loan, I can't remember anymore because I paid it off, but it was close to 200 something a month. But you can work with them. You can say, I'm a new business, I need it to be lower. Can we extend the terms? There's a lot of flexibility, unlike a bank, that you can work out with a micro lender. I find that they're very supportive. Also, there's something really exciting. Check it out when we get off of this call. It's called, and this is for all of you, check this out. It's called Kiva Zip Loan, Kiva Zip, ZIP loan. It is so exciting. I had an entrepreneur that I was working with just get a $5,000 loan in 24 hours. Incredible. So you can go through Kiva Zip, and that is one of the fastest loans I've ever seen, and it's really interesting. So anyway, I hope that helps. And but there's much more flexibility today than there's ever been before. Okay, Dawn, how reliable is LegalZoom? Okay, and she asks, what is the difference between a patent attorney and an intellectual patent attorney? Patent attorney, it's the same. Intellectual property patent attorney, it's called an IP attorney. So a patent attorney is an IP attorney, which is an intellectual property attorney. It's the same thing. They're just using a different way of saying it, but that's what it is. And I've only heard good things about LegalZoom. I've never heard anything bad or anything about LegalZoom. I have only known people to use LegalZoom really to fill out some of the basic forms that they offer. I'm not sure that I haven't been there in a little bit, so I'm not sure if they have a list of patent attorneys or how they do it. But you know, I would probably find a patent attorney to work with that I felt comfortable with. And this is, by the way, with just everything, I just want to throw this out there. Trust your instincts, trust your intuition in anything, any people that you're doing. This is the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You get to choose your team. So trust your instincts. If you feel that you know, something doesn't feel quite right, then forget it. Then don't work with them. Find somebody else. Okay. But really trust yourself, because you are building a team, and I have worked with some of my team members for years, and I love them. So, you know, make sure that you just build a team that you just feel rock solid, and really trust your instincts there. Okay. Okay, Barbara, it is, I'm sorry. I wonder if I could put this in here myself. I was going to type it for you, but I'm going to just say it again. It's Kiva, K-I-V is in Victor, Kiva, Zip, Z-I-P, like a zipper, Zip loan. And you can just type, I think it's kivazip.org, but just go ahead and type Kiva Zip into Google and you're going to find it. Okay. Okay, Karen. Okay, I'm curious about your response is to Dawn's question. Oh, sorry, Dawn. What did I miss? Must be, okay, regarding must be seen on TV. Could you please scroll? Okay. Alrighty. I love it. You're all helping me manage the questions. This is awesome. Okay. I'm scrolling down to try to find the question, Dawn. Sorry, I missed it. I didn't mean to miss it. There are so many questions coming in. Okay, has to do with, okay, here we are. I think I found it. I got an offer from As Seen on TV to sell my product. This is not the brick and mortar company, but they make commercials and want upfront money. Aha, I've heard about this. Have you heard of this? Yes, I have. I have heard of this, and I've heard of other similar ones that ask for tons of money. And I've had a couple of people do it, and it did not get the results that they had hoped for, and they spent a lot of money. I can't speak specifically to As Seen on TV. I am just saying, in general, there is no reason why you need to spend thousands of dollars when you can do this. You can do a product video yourself using your iPhone. I am serious. Just the most important thing is lighting, making sure that you have great lighting, okay? And it doesn't even have to be professional lighting. It's just good lighting on your face. Have the product video done. You can do it on your iPhone or a video camera, and take that, and that's what you use to start doing sending out your wow factor email to everybody imaginable. All those different options I told you. There are so many possibilities for selling today. You can push it out on social media, taking that link and driving that back to your sales page on your website so people can learn more about your product and read testimonials, and they can purchase it right away. Okay, and you can do so much on your own. And I've seen over and over again where people think, well, I just need somebody else to do it. I need an expert to do it. Well, I have seen people really, I'm telling you, pay over the last decade, thousands of dollars have come to me and said, oh gosh, if I had just spent that money on my own marketing, I would have gotten so much further. So with that said, I can't speak specifically to As Seen on TV. I'm just saying in general, that is what I've seen when people have spent thousands of dollars to have somebody else promote their product. So there's my 2 cents. You have to make your own choice in that regard, okay? So anything else? I can't tell if my order took. Okay, Chris, let me see. I don't know. Let me see. I hope so. And maybe Heather, you could jump on. I know Heather, you're on this too. If you could double check, because our time is running out. And I am sorry because it looks perfect on my screen. So I don't know if others are having difficulty adding this to your cart right now to get this for the last 50 minutes of the webinar. So if you could double check on this, let me just say this, and let me see if I can type in here. Oh, I can type here. Oh, good. I'm sorry, this was a new system for me. If you have any issues at all with your order, you can write to Heather at tamaramonosoff.com, who is my wonderful team member who's helping me out today, or you can write to me directly and I will help you out. Okay, and here is my direct email right now. I'm going to post it here. Did that work, everyone? I hope. Ah, did it work? Can you see it on the chat box at the very bottom? Whoops. I'm hoping, or maybe it's at the top. I'm hoping that you can see my email address. Okay, if not, if you cannot see it, and let me just try it again. My direct email is either Tamara at tamaramonosoff.com. It's my direct email, or you can write to Heather at tamaramonosoff.com if you wanting to order this special offer. And there at the very top, I'm hoping you can see what I see under Q&A. It's in green. And that is my direct email, or Heather. If you have any trouble at all with your order, I'm happy, or Heather is more than happy to assist you. We'll take care of that right away. Okay, perfect. Okay, thanks, Dawn. Glad that you're able to see. Okay, good. Any other questions as our time? Let's see how we're doing. Oh my gosh, this has been the fastest hour and a half. I don't know about you, but it has just flown by. So go ahead and, let me see, looking for brokers to sell IP to. Okay, that's a tricky one. You know, you're going to want to, I have not seen a lot of luck with that. What I have seen, Sharon, is identifying the company that your product would be the perfect fit for, and then contacting them, asking them what their process is for licensing, and then going through their process. And then, yes, it's great that you have IP, but I have not seen that there's a list of brokers, or I've been doing this for over a decade, and I have not seen that. The way that licensing deals are done typically is you're reaching out to a company that it'll make a lot of sense for them to make your product, and that they will want to go into partnership with you in that regard. Okay. All right. So let me just see. This is it. Any last minute question? Oh, let me just say one other thing really quickly before we go. I want you to think about competition in perhaps a new way. So let's say you've got competition and you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know, there's a similar to mine. Well, first of all, yes, you need to know the competition so you can make sure that your product is even better than ever, okay? And you have features that are different from others. But think about this. Your competition could end up being an awesome partner for you down the road. That competition can be your, they could be a partner. They could end up licensing from you. They could end up buying your company. So always view your competition. I always say treat your competition well. You know, never say anything negative about your competition, because it could be down the road that you might make a fabulous partnership with this competition. So just keep that in mind, and they may be the perfect licensing partner for you down the road. Okay. So with that said, I hope you grabbed the new Ultimate Product Launch program, and that you get to join my community. I'm super happy that you joined me today. I am going to see, wait a minute, am I able to, let me just go right here and see if I can switch on the camera. There, yay. So I hope that you're seeing this. Thank you so much for joining me today. Your questions were outstanding. And if you signed up for my program today, then you know that I'm going to be here for you every month, and you'll receive an invitation from me in your inbox that will be inviting you to Coffee with Tamara. And we will be having 30-minute quick sessions where you just go bam, 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 ask your questions so that you can just take it and run. And I wish you the very best. I'm thrilled that you joined me. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you. And we still have 1 minute, so I'm jumping back. I'm still on camera, I know, but I want to just quickly see any last minute question from you. And can you, with distributors taking 30% and retailers needing 50%, that leaves 20% roughly. This is the thing. You have just got to get on the margin calculator and work it out. You know, you may be able to just move things down a little bit. Maybe, you know, 48% here, 38%. That you've got to just work out the math. It's hard for me to just say it has to be this, this, and this. You will be able to see, especially if you're using the margin calculator, you will be able to see and maneuver your numbers around so that you make sure that you are all whole. And that is such a good point. I'm so glad you brought that up, Barbara. You've got to make sure that there's enough money left over for you, okay? No matter how you slice it, you've got to make sure that you'll know that you've got a healthy business if there's enough money left over for you. So make sure that you find this out ahead of time before you've brought, you know, bring thousands of units in from China and you're like trying to sell it, and because I want you to be whole and to really have a strong foundation in which to create other new products and build your business around. So with that said, thank you so much. It has been my pleasure to answer your questions and to be with you today. So take care, and we'll talk very soon. Bye, everybody.